when it comes to bigger, bolder and wilder, China offers the traveller more incredible landmarks than most countries.
I tell you what, you go to some places around the world and they're supposed to be amazing and they're kind of average. Here, you really feel it's raw, it's you and the elements. And frankly, this is quite an astonishing place to be.
Never in human history has there been such rapid change as in China with its so-called economic miracle. But double-digit growth in the world's third largest and most populous country has come at a cost. Dust storms, industrial waste and carbon emissions are all taking their toll. The smog-filled mega metropolises of China are forcing an exodus of those who can afford to leave. And foreign tourism is falling in cities like Beijing. But there's so much more to China than its ever-changing cities. And that's what I want to explore. In this two-part special, I'm travelling across China, discovering some of the most beautiful and unblemished landscapes in the world. And I'm starting my journey at the country's most iconic site.
The Great Wall of China. What a feat of ingenuity and human endeavour. It's more than 20,000 kilometres long, and I suspect a lot of people toiled and suffered to make this.
Welcome to the Great Wall. You are the best.
Now the wall is witness to a very different test of endurance. Mr. Feng Chao is a plumbing contractor by day, and he's about to run the notoriously demanding Great Wall Marathon. Today, he's on a recce.
我觉得这个长城马拉松有别于其他的马拉松，因为这个长城这个特殊的历史结构，它是全世界唯一的，我觉得跟这中国的人文历史很符合嘛。 特别，很特别，就这样。
I tell you what, this is no ordinary marathon. You've got to be super fit to do one of these.
Of course, China's most famous landmark is man-made. But what's less well known is China's treasure trove of natural wonders.
环境啊，对我们，对我不止对我，对大家，对所有的人类都一样。你看现在咱们站这个地方，风景秀丽，天空秀美，这都是需要我们去保持的，不能因为我们追求过快的经济发展也好，是文明社会也好，是向前历史车轮推进的过程中。 我们需要停下身来，转过看看我们自己身后的怎么了。我们不想看到我们子孙后代没有蔚蓝的天空，没有漂亮的鸟儿、新鲜的空气、干净的水。我觉得这都是重要的。
And when the actual event begins, it's not long before competitors feel the heat and hit the wall in more ways than one. But these people are part of a growing trend in China, people who can and want to explore their natural environment. The great outdoors is becoming an essential voyage of discovery. And that's my mission. I'm en route to explore some of the most precious and threatened landscapes that up until now have stood the test of time.
Before you decide to explore China, there's one thing you've got to take into account, and that is the sheer scale of the place. I mean, this is supposed to be a small airport in a satellite city just outside Beijing. But look at the size of the place. It's massive. And right now, I'm gonna get the hell out of the smoke and go to my first remote location, Chiang Mai.
2 hours on the plane from Beijing and you're in Chiang Mai in Jilin province, home to the biggest nature reserve in the whole of China, and some of the densest woodland you'll ever encounter.
Okay, let's find the driver. Nice weather, temperate, warm. I think it gets colder when you go up towards the mountains. And we're heading northeast towards the border with North Korea, where there is one of the world's most amazing natural wonders, I've been told.
It takes just a stroll down the main thoroughfare to see the billions of won being invested here. Domestic tourism has been rising by 10% a year for the last decade or so, and this place is definitely geared towards the country's new elite as well as foreigners, people who are in search of clean air holidays.
Chiang Mai is a symbol of what they're calling the new Chinese dream, a prosperous nation of consumers and leisure seekers. This village resort, which has only been going a few years and is still under construction, is geared towards skiing and outdoor activities. It sometimes resembles a bit of a theme park, but I tell you what, it's a heck of an investment.
But this is the star attraction, Heaven Lake, nestling inside a volcanic crater on Mount Chiang Mai. It's nearly 400 meters deep, and locally it's seen as holding mysterious, mythical and spiritual powers.
It's important to the Chinese, but it's also important to the Koreans. That's North Korea just over there, and it's seen as the ancient birthplace of the Korean nation. It's just astonishing.
Most visitors here are South Korean, eager to lay eyes on the place of their ancestral origin. And North Korean propaganda claims that former leader Kim Jong-il was born on the mountain, and that on his death, the ice of the lake cracked loudly. Yu Shishwen is a local journalist who works for the Chinese government.
对于我们当地人来说，或者对于吉林省人来说，它是一个很神圣的一座山，它很神奇。来的时候它天气变幻莫测，你能看到它的时候是居少的，但是如果能看到它，说明你很有福气，很有运气，你一整天的心情都会非常好。
And I know there are lots of myths and legends about this place. What are they?
曾经有人说看到了在那个天池的水平面边上有一个很粗的铁链子拴了一条怪兽，但是这仅仅是一个传说，因为我从小到大在这里生长，我虽然没有见过，但是我相信这个传说是很美好的一个传说。
Oh, and one other thing. They reckon the volcano could erupt at any time.
不过据说会再爆发，但是我们这里有一个火山监测站，如果有最新动态，我相信他们那里会清楚。但是目前没有听说它会再爆发，还不确定，这个我没有办法确定。
Mind you, I'm not sure if I'd like to be hanging around all day in this climate. It can get to nearly minus 45 degrees in midwinter. But before I go, there's one local speciality I've got to try.
So you have eggs here. Oh, these are hot springs here. And these are the eggs, wow. And I can eat these now? I can have one? Okay, right, let's try it. Let's put that in there a second. Let's just, oopsie daisy. Should we do that again?
My second try is more of a success.
Tastes exactly like a normal egg. And the shell tastes exactly like normal shell too. Messy, this eating. Oh.
But the much talked about magical properties of nature are good for more than just cooking eggs and corn here. Somewhat remarkably, 70% of the world's output of a plant that is claimed to have life-enhancing properties comes from this province, Jilin.
That plant is ginseng, and I'm going to meet a farmer here who produces an awful lot of it.
China was the first country to discover, cultivate and process ginseng for medical reasons.
这是我18岁的时候。
Xie Yuyan has been growing ginseng since she was a teenager.
我要从头说起，人参的全部都有营养成分，包括它的叶片，还有这叫秧壳，这个秧的都有回收，可以做茶，然后炖鸡都可以。最有营养的地方呢，还是这儿。
Why has Chiang Mai got most of the world's ginseng?
可能是根据这个气候有特别的关系，因为打从我记事儿起，就像我们这个村的木屋村有300年历史了。那个时候就是家老人呐、或者是小孩体质虚，有病，都要拿老母鸡会炖人参鸡作为大补。 就这样传下来，所以说就一代接一代的持续，越来发展越多。
How much ginseng do you have every day?
我每天泡这些茶喝，我心脏病特别严重，胃都不舒服，年纪大了，反正我这20多年就是长期喝它，我没吃过药。
Xie Yuyan brews me a cup of ginseng tea.
And actually quite refreshing. Let's see if it actually changes me in some way. Not that I'm expecting it to be some sort of magic elixir, but you never know.
Growing ginseng is a slow process. It can take up to 30 years to nurture one plant.
Now, I've just drunk the cheap stuff, which is fine, but I've just found out that this one plant alone is worth $250 US, which is incredible. I mean, yes, it's 31 years old apparently. It's more precious, but nonetheless, just that, $250 US. Incredible.
The Chiang Mai Nature Reserve is about 2,000 square kilometres in size, with more than 80 kinds of tree. There are over 40 threatened species here, including the lynx, the leopard and the Siberian tiger. I'm joining a daily conservation patrol that looks after animals' feeding stations, like this one for black bears, and stops people from picking endangered plants.
Meanwhile, 3 other things fell off, but nonetheless, you know, I'm doing my bit.
Might not be my finest work, but the patrol continues. Suddenly, the team spots something suspicious.
Follow. So it looks like this guy has been stopped for doing something possibly that he shouldn't be doing, and they're going to question him now. I think they're going to search him, actually.
The man is caught with a sack full of wild vegetables. Picking them here is illegal, and the man is taken to the conservation station for a possible fine.
现在不能说是同情，因为什么？他们毕竟要违法了，我们要对他进行，如果轻的，我们进行批评教育；重的，我们一定要对他经济处罚。如果造成重大破坏了，就要接受法律制裁。你指导保护区怎么还进呢？
I guess when you see it in action, you kind of realise that for a lot of people this is the only form of living they can make, and that when it comes to situations like this, I can't help feel a bit sorry for these people. This is their way of life for a long time. But if you're in the conservation business, I guess you've got to enforce the rules.
It's time for me to leave Chiang Mai and continue my trip. But out in the sticks, you're still at the mercy of man-made pitfalls.
So we have a major situation here. The car has
seriously broken down in some way. We are basically in the middle of nowhere and miles away from the airport that we've got to get back to Beijing today in order to carry on with our trip. This is, I guess, one of the hazards of working way out in the countryside, and I've seriously no idea what's going to happen now. The driver is definitely nervous. The car seems unable to pick up any speed. Okay. We are going downhill now, which helps. Going a little bit more smoothly, you never know. But our driver is still on the phone to base to work out what the mechanical fault could be. But our smooth run is short-lived. Okay, we've run out of slope now. We've run out of downhill gradient. We're now going uphill and we're making very slow progress. Do they have, like, automobile rescue systems here? No, they don't, I've been told. The future of our trip slightly hangs on this situation. Then the driver has an original idea. So, is this a makeshift jack? I don't know what's happening here. He's bashing something with a log. Oh, do we think we have made progress by doing that? Oh. It's okay. That log may have done the trick. The driver tells me there was a problem with the fuel tank, and using the log activated the reserve tank. All I know is we're moving smoothly again. So that's the end of my trip to Chiang Mai, and it's been my first real glimpse of rural China. And what's interesting is, from the splendor of the volcanic crater, Heavenly Lake, to the forestry and the fields down here, you're seeing something really interesting developing as tourism here becomes more focused on the countryside. And I can see a tension in the future between people who make a living from here and the desire to conserve this land. My next destination, Gansu province in the northwest of the country, bordering Mongolia, is one of the poorest and most remote regions of China, but with an illustrious past. This city, Zhangye, was a major trading post on the legendary Silk Road, which connected China with the West. But it wasn't just goods that were being swapped, it was culture, ideas, and people. And today, they want to revive that magic and bring more people over and put this region back on the map. Tourism numbers here are on the rise, above the national average, and here's one reason why they think it will grow even faster. About 20 kilometers east of the city is Zhangye Desert Park. 20% of China's landmass is desert, and right now we're in one of the world's most famous, the Gobi. Up until now, there wasn't much use for this land, but then tourism came along with some other ideas. The desert park is 27 square kilometres of soft sand and hilly dunes, and this is a taste of the fun and games they're planning here. A 31-seater wave-surfing desert galleon. But if you want something more edgy, then there is always this. Right on the edge of this sand dune, I can't believe it. Let's go round. Whoa! Going up this hill. Whoa, very steep hill. I can't believe it. They're going to go round. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at this swift turn. And a swift turn again. And he's doing a right turn. Whoa! Well, that was incredible. This guy's a real expert, and we're going right by the side of the tops of inclines, and I think we're going to fall, or we don't. And it's very scary, but I'm in the hands of a good driver, and that's the best I can hope for, but it's frightening. Whoa. Daniel Pugh is a local investor who has big plans for the area.
This place was always unique, but now it has been a center for the entertainment for the local people. People make in summer days and then enjoy the barbecue and do some family activities.
So a tourist will come into the gates here, and what will happen to them? What will they experience?
At the very beginning, this is just empty sand. If it's just that, this place is nothing. But with these cars, you can enjoy the fun to drive in the cars and try different activities to be closer with the nature. The nature doesn't mean just forest and the water pond. It also means this desert.
Daniel's confident that just as in Chiang Mai, the growing Chinese middle class will look to escape the cities and explore the country's nature more.
What kind of tourists can you imagine coming here in the future?
All tourists. Actually, everyone, when you get here, you will enjoy a different life. I think it's a kind of enlightenment to your own life.
So, as I reach the end of the first leg of the journey around China's natural wonders, I'm realizing a lot is resting on new ventures. To help the economy as well as personal well-being, people here are being encouraged to travel afar and try something new. Next time, I journey further into Chinese countryside and find out how tradition and tourism can live side by side. And I come across this place, not mentioned in any guidebook that I've ever read. But before I leave here, there's one thing I've just got to do.
You ready for this?
That was actually, I was looking at him driving and thinking, God, this is scary. Now I'm thinking I can do anything. I can go over the steep inclines, the drops, anything. Probably isn't a good idea, but you know what? It feels so comfortable and easy. I'm doing it again.